Hot take. If you are still treating AI like a fancy text box, you are already behind.
Because the real shift is not better wording. It is moving from one-off prompts to structured interactions the app can control.
So when people hear Responses API, they think, great, another way to send a prompt. That is not the story, right?
Right. The Responses API is a way to ask a model for an answer, while also managing things around the answer, like tools, inputs, output shape, and multi-step behavior, in one coherent flow.
Why should a programmer new to AI care? If the model can answer my question, job done.
That works for demos. It breaks in products. Real apps need the model to do work reliably, not just sound smart once.
Give me a concrete example.
Say you are building a support assistant for an online store. Plain prompting means you ask, "Where is my order?" and hope the model answers well. With the Responses API, the model can look up the order through a tool, use the result, and return a clean, customer-safe reply.
So the difference is not just wording, it is that the model can be part of a workflow.
Exactly. Plain prompting is like handing a clever intern a sticky note. The Responses API is like giving that intern a checklist, access to approved systems, and rules for how the final report must look.
That sounds less magical and more operational.
And that is why it matters. The teams that win are not the teams with the cutest prompt. They are the ones that can make AI behave inside software constraints.
Let us make that sharper. What does it do that plain prompting does not?
3 big things. First, it can combine model reasoning with tool use. Second, it gives you more structure over the exchange. Third, it is designed for app logic, not just chat.
Tool use sounds abstract. Show me.
Imagine a travel app. A user asks, "Find me a flight to Chicago under $300 and summarize the trade-offs." A plain prompt can invent options. The Responses API can call a flight search tool, inspect real results, then explain which option is cheapest, fastest, or has baggage fees.
Now, the stakes show up. If the model hallucinates in a poem, who cares? If it hallucinates a flight, you lose trust fast.
Exactly. Reliability is a product feature. The Responses API helps connect the model to verified data and gives your code a cleaner way to control the process.
You also said structure. Is that about forcing the model to answer in JSON instead of a rambly paragraph?
That is part of it. New developers often discover the hard way that nice prose is terrible for downstream code. If your app needs fields like priority, category, and next action, you want structured output your system can actually use.
So, instead of parsing vibes, you parse data.
Exactly. Think of an internal IT bot. An employee says, "My laptop keeps dropping VPN." The app needs a ticket severity, likely cause, and whether to escalate. A structured response is much safer than scraping clues from a paragraph.
This is where plain prompting starts to feel like duct tape.
That is the right instinct. Plain prompting is still useful, but once you need repeatability, guardrails, and integration with tools, you need something more deliberate.
And there is a strategic angle here. If one company treats AI like a chatbot and another treats it like infrastructure, the second one builds faster.
Yes. The power shift is from prompt writers to product builders. The advantage comes from orchestrating the model inside the system, not from polishing a clever sentence in a text box.
Give me one practical use case a programmer could picture building this month.
Build a meeting follow-up assistant. Feed it the transcript, let it extract decisions and action items in a strict schema, then have it call your task tool to create tickets and draft a recap email. That is not just generation, that is execution.
And if you did that with plain prompting alone, you would spend your time babysitting format errors and made-up details.
Right. The Responses API turns the model from a clever guesser into a controllable component. That changes what you can trust it to do.